Tom Thibodeau cost the Knicks a playoff game and a chance to get to round 2. How you don't foul with 8 seconds and you're up 3, it is beyond reckless. And he did this in game 2, and he didn't get burned by it because they missed a shot. Hey, Tom, you've got to adjust your philosophy. This nonsense of not knowing what to do when you're up by 3, and the only way that you can lose is by allowing a 3. This is basic stuff. This is coaching 101. And you know what? I don't want to hear. I heard what Brunson said post-game, and I love him, and we'll get to all of it. I heard Jalen say, well, I've got to communicate more. No, your coach needs to communicate more. You know why? Watch McBride. Watch McBride as Embiid sets the pick, Sal, right? There's 8 seconds to go. We had 3 seconds to make the determination of reaching and fouling and putting him at the line. And he didn't do it, which tells me that Miles McBride didn't know what to do. Now, this is basic. It's basic coaching, but it's basic mathematics. If you foul when you're up 3, I don't know why every coach doesn't do this, right? If you foul, multiple things need to happen. Number 1, the opponent's got to hit the free throws. If they miss, they've got to get the offensive rebound. If they get the offensive rebound, they got to put it in the hole, all right? Then when you inbound the ball, they got to foul you, and you got to miss free throws, or they got to get a stop. 5 things need to happen versus fouling, and even if they make 2, game's over.
Right, but
Tom Thibodeau lost it for him.
But why didn't you make a big deal after game 2 then?
Because they won the game.
Well, but it shouldn't be about shouldn't be about the result.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Consistency. This is something, and I don't even know because if it's still there, because you tweet and then it kind of goes away, like to an extent, even though there's always a digital imprint. I've complained about this for a while.
Right.
Like, I don't know why he doesn't do this. For the New York Knicks today, not to be sitting here in an ice bath, 52 minutes for this guy, 49 minutes for that guy, chilling out while the Bucks and the Pacers knock the crap out of each other for another night, and the Knicks get to rest up with home court in the semis, is a dereliction of coaching duty. There's other things and other criticisms to levy, and I love Thibodeau. I do, but that does not absolve him. He butchered it.
Well, how about Josh Hart hitting a free throw? How about Jalen Brunson not playing sloppy basketball? The Knicks in general, you know how many times last night watching that game I was like, oh, jeez, just playing sloppy, uncharacteristic, unsmart basketball down the stretch. You can't do that. They're not good enough to get away with that. I don't care what their lead is down the stretch. You got to make free throws. I mean, Josh Hart can't hit a shot. All of a sudden, game 1 and game 2, he's the hero. Everybody loves Josh Hart knocking down threes left and right. How about you hit a freaking free throw? And then Jalen Brunson, and he took accountability, and that's why you love him. You can't be sloppy. The Knicks choked that game away last night. They had it. They had their foot on the throat of the Sixers. They let them up for air, and now they're in a fight for this series. The Knicks are in real trouble here, and I don't think it's because of Thibodeau. I think it's because the Knicks players choked it away with the pressure at home. Now, whether I would foul in that spot is a different argument. To me,
so do you think that I'm wrong? Would you not have fouled up 3 with 8 seconds to go?
Yeah,
foul him.
But that doesn't
put him on a strike.
But that's not why they, to me, lost the game. Like, yes, it makes sense. You just laid out all the reasons. Mike Breen was talking about it during the broadcast in real time. Now the Knicks got to decide to foul you. Like, why would you ever? By the way, I think the rule needs to change because it's just stupid for the NBA. The exciting thing is to see a team shoot a 3 as opposed to foul, put them at the line, make it a free throw game.
But until they change it, you still manipulate the rule, which they didn't.
Now, the argument against would be, well, they did foul him before by accident. And by the way, how about blaming Mr. Robinson as well? He played great defense. You can't foul him that spot to make it a 4-point
Or if you do foul him, put him on the floor. So he can't shoot.
Right. Make sure he doesn't make the shot. If you're going to foul him, hit him. Knock him down. So I blame Mitchell Robinson. I blame Josh Hart. I blame Jalen Brunson. The Knicks were a sloppy mess to close out what should have been a Game 5 victory, a series-ending Game 5 victory. I can't go nuts that just this is all on Tom Thibodeau.
And by the way, they jump out to a 5-point lead in the overtime. There were so many plays. Now, what you identify, you're absolutely right. I mean, I mean, Josh Hart almost airmailed that ball. He barely grazed the front rim.
He choked like Starks did in the Reggie Miller game.
Yeah, to me, and boy, I love Josh Hart. I'm not going to use the word choke because, and I'm not saying that you're wrong when you miss one that egregiously. I get it.
How about Brunson down the stretch, BT? You could see him like, thinking.
The play with Hartenstein in the middle.
Hartenstein going one way, throwing the ball away. They throw the ball away. Brunson doesn't do that.
Yeah, and that's obvious. So some people were getting on Hartenstein. Do you know basketball? Hartenstein's job is to go and get the rebound, which, by the way, happened earlier in the series when he kicked it out to DiVincenzo for the win. So if you're Hartenstein 20 feet away from the rim, when you haven't taken a 20-footer all year, you're obviously going to go and pound the window. Jalen Brunson elevates. Hartenstein goes and does his job. Horrible miscommunication. Boy, that's a tough one to stomach. But the missed free throws, there was also a play where Josh Hart, it was definitely at the end of the fourth quarter, and I thought this would have been the dagger, right? Where OG, who played awesome, although he missed the free throw as well, when OG was streaking down, the Knicks either got a steal or a long rebound, and they had a fast break, and Josh Hart just fired it out of bounds, and over OG's hands, it would have been a dunk, it would have been 2 points, game would have been over. Listen, you can unpack this from a million different directions. What Sal just said, he's right, hit the free throw, box out. If you foul somebody, put their ass on the floor. But I don't care what anybody says. That game was lost by the coach. You are up 3. There's 8 seconds to go. And by the way, and this is important, as you foul, and then you know that Philly's going to have to foul, and this thing's going to get stretched out. The Sixers did not have a timeout, which means they could not advance the ball to midcourt, which means as you chip away 2, 3, 4 seconds out of 8.3, they got to go 94 feet.
Yeah. All those things had to happen for the Knicks to lose that game. And that is as bad a loss as you could possibly have. And, you could blame Tibbs. I'm not going to get on him, especially because it would be inconsistent.
Not going to get on him?
Yeah,
Why?
Well, because it would be inconsistent after game 2. If he did the same thing in game 2 and nobody says a peep about it, then I have a hard time getting on him after game 5 just because of the result. You either don't like the decision or you are okay with the decision. You can't jump in. I'm not saying you, but in general, and that's been the thought process. You can't just jump in because it didn't work. If Maxey misses a 3, and by the way, he stuck it up the Knicks' rear end, that's why I've been worried about this Sixers team, because of superstar play like that. The guy's knocking down shots from all over the place. You can't stop him when he's on. So it took a miracle shot, 2 of them, as a matter of fact, to put the Knicks in the spot to go to overtime. And then even in overtime, the Knicks started that well, and I'm thinking it's going to be Brunson versus Maxey. Here we go. Their superstar or stars versus Brunson. And Brunson's outnumbered because Embiid made some plays too. And then Brunson either ran out of gas or just choked it away. There were more reasons to me than just the decision by Tibbs. But if you're not getting on him after game 2, just because they won in a game that they were extremely lucky to win, then I have a hard time getting on him individually in game 5.
Foul him. Listen, I know people want to jump in. 877-337-6666. Many culprits here, but I'm looking at the coach.
BT and Tal and the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire, remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Aiden is calling from Pearl River. Aiden?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How are you?
Good. I was just calling to say, BT, I don't think that they should have fouled right there in that situation.
Why not?
Well, I mean, there's 9 seconds left. He's 100 feet from the basket. I mean, and also, look, he shot the thing from a mile away. Where if you fouled him when he threw it up?
Well, but that's why you do it before he gets to 35 feet, and Mitchell Robinson had no chance to recover on that because he was dropped back inside the line. You foul him when Embiid goes to set the pick, when he crosses midcourt.
I don't know.
What do you mean, no?
There's too much time.
What do you mean, no?
And we can't hit a free throw. You're banking on us hitting 2 free throws on the other end.
Okay, but that's okay, Aiden. And that okay. So you don't agree with what I'm saying? That's fine. I respect that. But if you can't hit a free throw, all right, down the stretch, then we've wasted everybody's time talking about what the Knicks could do the next month or so.
Well, they couldn't hit free throws.
Well, I mean, but you still have to have that inherent trust that when it's time to ice the game, they will.
Right. Well, but they didn't.
No, I know, but the next time you step up there,
but that is part of the problem.
What I'm saying is, Sal, you can't yet. No doubt. Josh Hart missed.
You have to expect you're going to make them. I know.
Brunson missed 2 at that one. A little not quite as late in the game, but I know.
But that's a problem. They can't do that. But yes, you have to assume.
You have to assume that every time they get in the position to make the free throws and ice it, that they're going to do it. You can't coach around that.
Oh, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't trust him in that spot. I mean, think about what it took, BT. It did. The guys at half court, basically.
Yes, 36 feet.
So like maybe they were going to foul, and obviously if they were, they didn't execute it properly. Because to your point, if you're going to foul The number one thing in that spot is to make sure he doesn't get the shot off.
Correct.
End of story.
Yep.
I don't care where he is on the floor. You make sure they don't shoot a three because that's the only way you can get hurt in that individual moment. And they let him get away with it. But to their point, like maybe they had a plan where they were going to do it if he got closer. Who knows? You would live with him taking that shot 99% of the time. Maybe not him.
Not him.
Yeah, well.
He's
but hey.
This guy's a handful.
Yeah, that's the problem. Knicks are in trouble here. That's a problem.
You don't think they win a series?
You know why I think they're in trouble? Well, first of all, I've never felt good about this after game 1 and then game 2.
Yep.
But you know why I think they're in trouble? Good teams don't do this. You had them dead. They were dead. Forget about up 3-1. Forget about what happened prior. They were dead. Game 5, you're up 3-1. You have the big lead late. It's your building. It's over. And they let them up. When you come back from the dead like that, and now the Sixers going back home, and they have 2 stars, the Knicks are in serious trouble.
I think it's the worst Knick loss of all time. You know, obviously, you talk about the NBA Finals. I mean, in terms of the biggest implosion with so many culprits, not that they can't recover, but just responding to last unforgivable failure.
Oh, God. Alex is calling from East Quogue. What's up, Alex?
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, Al?
First of all, you're definitely foul in that situation.
100%.
Especially since they had no timeout. You could have fouled them. You could have fouled them in the backcourt, and that still would have taken off 3 or 4 seconds off the shooting clock.
Yep.
But I want to talk about a couple other things very quickly. Josh Hart is a phenomenal player, but he makes the stupidest decisions sometimes. You brought up that pass he tried making to OG Anunoby.
Yep.
That was they had the momentum. There was like 3 minutes to go in the game. You hold on to the ball, work the clock. He wasn't alone in the back. He wasn't alone in the backcourt down there. There was a defender down there with him. Stupid play. Another thing that bugs the shit out of me.
Whoa, come on, man. You can't curse, buddy.
Yeah,
we got to dump you.
Man, look,
I get it. We got to watch ourselves today, too, but I get it.
I respect it. You just can't curse, unfortunately, on the radio. It's not our rules. Those are just
trust me,
rules.
we'd have no rules.
Yeah.
Oh. Imagine how we'd sound today if we could just say literally whatever we wanted.
My God.
I mean, I'll tell you, last night, now this is going to rock you to your core in terms of confidence. I picked Knicks in 6. I didn't know that it would go this way.
Right.
That you would implode at home in Game 5 with a chance to put them home. I didn't know that. I just thought Knicks would win in 6. I did tweet that. I said it. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm nervous.
Is it because of that type of loss it's hard to recover from that?
No. I'm happy you asked me that. No, because the one thing that I will never give up in terms of like the belief in this team to regenerate, because that's what they've done all year.
Yeah, okay.
Randall hurt, all right, whatever. OG hurt, whatever. We'll figure it out, even though it took us a while. We were almost a 7 seed. We will figure it out. They will regenerate mentally. They are tough. They are connected, and they're good. Okay, so I still think that they win the series, but it is now incredibly complicated. And if they lose, Sal,
Oh, man.
there's going to be some tough conversations to be had.
It would be.
You know what I mean?
You talk about the 90s and some of the disappointments that we endured during the 90s. This would make that look like nothing.
Yeah,
this
because
first round series up 3-1.
The Knicks never collapsed back then. Like, there were games. I remember there was a game at Market Square Arena, the old Pacers Arena, where they scored like 60-something points in maybe game 3, whatever it was. It was gross. But they would have clunkers, and they were at times wretched to watch in terms of a lack of offensive flow. But those Knicks never jumped out. I mean, unless I'm just omitting something in terms of, because I'm overly worked up right now that I really do know that I'm not remembering at the moment. I don't think so. Those big Knick teams never choked up colossal leads. They must finish this job.
The only one is the Reggie Miller game and then the Ewing thing.
But I mean, a series.
Yeah, well.
But I mean, like, where you're they were up 3-1.
They were
and they're up, 6 points with 30 seconds.
In round 1. Right.
Yes.
Up 3-1 in round 1.
Yep.
Up 6 points with 30 seconds
at home.
That's as bad as it gets. That is a
it doesn't get worse unless that was game 7.
I was saying last night, I did the WFAN Daily Podcast live after the game, and the first words out of my mouth were curses, as a matter of fact. And I was saying, I don't remember feeling those emotions back and forth. Like, that was a hell of a game. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way the Knicks wanted it to, but the emotions of that game. It's just something it's just something I haven't felt probably in 25 years.
And you missed that feeling. Now here's the danger. But when you miss the feeling, but then there's the flip side of beyond exhilaration. There's this, and I'm sure many of you like us. Just slumbered up the stairs to bed last night, pissed off, probably tossed and turned, and we're all angry today. And now there's a level of concern that was not present before the tip last night.
Al is in Keyport. What's up, Al?
Thank you for the call. Thibodeau, he blew the whole thing. He's terrible at the end of the game. And another thing is with Maxey, he scored 40-some points in the game. Who did they think was going to shoot the ball at the end of the game just then? They should have been denying him the ball right on him. He should even came close to getting a shot off like he did. It was insane. Who else was going to shoot? Embiid was down low. He's bringing the ball up. They got to be right on him, and the pressure, he was too open. It's just crazy. They blew it, and Thibodeau, they should have fouled, like you're saying. They should have fouled. Who knows even if he would have made the foul shots? He could have even missed it.
He missed a couple.
It even easier.
I'm looking at that.
What I'm saying?
Yeah. No, thanks for the call there. I got you. Sal, I'm looking at the replay again, right? So they inbound the ball with 13 change. So it's McBride, and Embiid is lumbering up past the midcourt sign. All right, let me just fast forward a little bit. Then you get to, the 12-second range. Maxey's still not there. Now you're at 11. He's crossing midcourt. He crosses midcourt, as I said, after about 3 or 4 seconds elapse after the high screen by Embiid. And now Mitchell is and Mitch is a beast, but he's in no man's land. There's no way he can hang with Maxey. Maxey, OG can barely hang with Maxey. He's unstoppable. Yeah. So Robinson is now 2 feet in front of the three-point line, anticipating a three, but then he drops back foolishly, but you had 4 seconds to foul him. And I'm sorry, McBride is a high IQ, as most of the Knicks are, high IQ, locked in, uber-aware defender. The fact that he didn't even look like he thought about fouling tells me he was not instructed to foul, and that's on the coach.
Bill is calling from Island Falls, Maine. What's up, Bill?
Yeah, how come you guys aren't talking about Francisco Lindor's OPS today?
Get lost, pal. Take a hike. Let's go.
Zach is calling from Brooklyn. What's up, Zach?
Today.
Hey, guys, how we doing?
What's up, Zach?
Jack. One thing is I saw on Twitter.
Jack or Zach?
Jack. With a
Jack,
J.
okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jack.
I saw on Twitter you said you saw the replay. Tibbs looks like he might have told Deuce to foul Maxey at half court. You guys could check that again. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is, how do we not make sure that Brunson or our next best foul shooter has the ball when they're fouling? How does it get in Hart's hands? I don't get it.
Well, you got to understand. Well, you do, Zach. I'm sure you watch a lot. This whole thing is whack. Zach and Jack. There's something to be said for the opponent forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, which means you give up the ball and you deny and whatever, all that basketball stuff, which means nothing right now, although it means everything. I'll tell you, here's the other thing, and Boomer nailed something that's very important. Where the hell was Precious Achiuwa? How in the world was he's not on the court?
Boomer's infatuation with Achiuwa.
Okay, fine, but he's right, at least pertaining to the sequence last night. How many minutes did Embiid play? 52? What did he play?
Yeah, but Mitch was great on him. Embiid was, for the most part.
I understand that, but you got when everybody plays 40, or at least the impactful players on Philly plays 45-plus minutes, you don't think about tapping the shoulder of a guy who's going to be, he would have been jumping so high, would have been jumping up and dusting the rafters, the old Ewing and DeBusschere jerseys. He could have dusted them. That's how energetic he would have looked against those other bodies that were shot, absolutely exhausted. I know you know where I stand on the foul shot. For Achiuwa not to play this game, Coach, where were you?